Welcome back to 5 Minute Knives, the channel that doesn't have anything snarky to say this week, today. We're gonna do a rambly roundabout video. You guys seem to like these on something I want to address about graphics in my Kydex business, and you guys request graphics a lot, and I kind of want to talk about it for a bit. So in the middle here, we have 3 knives sent in by my buddy Matt. Matt's a great guy, salt of the earth. He's in the healthcare industry. Thank you for your service, bud. Just a real sweet pea. But he hit me up saying, hey man, I got my my own Kydex and I want to do this thing, it's graphics and whatever, and immediately I thought the answer was going to be no on my end. I said no to so many people over the years wanting to do graphics, and there was a few reasons for that. One, the pattern on the graphics would often bleed out onto my foam, and then that would transfer onto the next sheath I made, bricking it. And this happened a bunch of times and I couldn't figure it out, and I talked to other Kydexers about it. They seemed to not know what the hell I was talking about, which was weird. And then finally I did some more research recently because I was thinking about bringing it back, and I discovered this like Teflon paper that you can use. You can kind of lay it down between, and that protects the foam. And so I got that. Matt was cool. I'm trying to scale up this business. You guys know I mainly make sheaths on the weekends. I run the security company. I have other things going on. I am a busy beaver, super busy. However, making sheaths has become very zen for me. I really enjoy it. It's like my favorite thing I do now. And I really want to scale this up and kind of make it a full-time thing, maybe hire a few employees, train them to do what I do, and then market the hell out of it. I know I can do it. I can scale this thing up. I can grow the YouTube channel. I mean, it's all happened, but I want to make it happen a lot more. So if I'm going to do that, that means I got to start saying yes to more of you guys' kooky requests, right? And under that file of kookiness, I put graphics. So I told Matt, yes. Let's go. I didn't know how they would turn out, but let's try it. So before he sent these in, when he was getting his Kydex together, I did have a couple of pieces laying around the shop of graphics, and I figured I'd give it a shot. So this one here is for the Becker BK18. And I think I put this in the community tab. It's for sale if you guys want it. If you have a BK18, it's dope. It's got amazing retention. It could be run horizontal or vertical. It does not matter. I like it horizontal for that harpoon shaped knife. And I actually figured out like a way to mold that pretty well. I kind of blocked off a piece after the harpoon hump, and it makes this draw just buttery smooth. So this sheath came out great. And I was like, all right, it didn't transfer onto my foam. One thing I don't like about the graphics though, in the con column, is that once I press the knife, it's very hard for me to see the lines of the blade itself. And I always worry that I'm gonna, place the eyelets wrong or do something effed up. In this case, it's a little easier to tell when you have it in the light. You can see the blade, the definition's there. But a lot of these graphics, they kind of hide the shape of the blade itself. So this one came out pretty good, great. Okay, let's make another one. So then I had this Digicam laying around, and I figured, okay, cool, I'll make one for the Recon Tanto, because these I sell on eBay, they fly, this will probably be sold very quickly. However, if you guys want it, reach out to me, dragonscalejoe@gmail.com. You guys know the drill by now. Just email me, say, hey, I want that sheath I saw on the channel. Boom, it's yours, okay? I am gonna make a website again, but that's only because I'm selling knives now too, so I'm gonna flip knives on there. I'm gonna make custom sheaths for knives with shitty sheaths, and my custom job will go up on my website. Plus, there'll be like an order form for you to order your own sheath. Tell me all about it. I think I'm just gonna keep it basic to where like you tell me what knife it is and send a picture, and I'll hit you up with a quote. Kind of the same thing we're doing now with the email. I send you the info email and you get a quote. So it's almost like I don't need a website, and it is a pain in the ass, but like, okay, I'll make a website. You guys keep requesting it. I had one up for 2 years that you never used. You always email me directly, so I figured, okay, I don't have to pay these, website fees or whatever anymore, or maintain it, and I shut it down. I'm also thinking about calling my Kydex company 5 Minute Knives as well, just for branding reasons. I always had like a separate name like Dragon Scale Concealment, Dragon Scale Kydex. Meh, I don't think it's needed. You guys get the picture. It's 5 Minute Knives, all around. Why is the Kydex portion called 5 Minute Knives as well? Well, maybe it only takes you 5 minutes to order. How's that? Very slick, right? So okay, so I made these 2. They turned out good. Matt's knives came in. The first one I made was this one in this kind of, I don't even know what you would call this, like an Aztec-y type pattern. It's a really cool pattern. Came out very nice. Almost impossible to line this straight line pattern up with the curvy lines of the blade. Plus, I think in the press, it just shifted ever so slightly. And I think it's cheated a little this way. Yeah. and there's really nothing I can do about that. So sorry, Matt. I do think it came out pretty cool, but if you're OCD, that could be a factor. Nothing I can do about it. But the sheath is really cool considering this Tops knife has a sawback. This is a Steel Eagle 105. It is a badass knife. You guys know I'm a Tops fanboy because of their variety of designs and the quality and fitment and craftsmanship of the blades themselves. Some people complain about 1095 steel. I don't. I like to sharpen it, and I would prefer something that rolls rather than chips in the field, personally, you know? So Tops' 1095 has always been good to me. Essie's 1095 has been great to me. Becker's Crovan, I've had some of those chip in the field. I had a BK9 chip. I had a BK18, I think, chip as well. So that Crovan tends to be a little more rigid. I'm fine with 1095. There's the sawback. I really like the white liners. Just a badass looking knife. Everything is just so overbuilt on this knife. Really like the micarta, but the handle just felt very wide in this dimension, and it is. You kind of grip it. It's kind of like a Glock in that way, right? I think it's cool how you have like a lashing point here, here, and here. You could probably, you know, if you know how to do all that stuff, you could probably get a lot done with this. It's probably very versatile. The sawback, I'm sure, works well. It would just be very awkward to hold this in the reverse grip to use the saw, but you could do it in a survival scenario. But more importantly, with these sawback knives, you guys know that sawbacks don't like kydex. It'll shave pieces of kydex every time you draw, and there's really nothing I can do about that. However, with this particular sheath, I actually made it in such a way where the retention's fairly light, and it's not a problem. You use the thumb ramp, and it doesn't seem to shave any off at all. So I actually think this sheath came out really, really good considering. So Matt seems happy with that. Good. I like the way it looks. The blue's very pretty. It's a pretty coloration, I think. Then he also sent this funky little knife, and this is the Taliban Takedown, and it's a wild knife. Here, I'll show you the knife first, then we'll talk about the sheath. I told you it's gonna be a rambly video, probably 20 minutes long. You got something to do? I mean, there's no real point to this. We're just hanging out. So it's a chisel grind on this side with some serrations. What a funky little knife that's got like a lot going on. Taliban Takedown right there. It's got this gray powder coated blade made in the USA, of course. It's Tops. I'm assuming 1095. I really like the jimping. I don't know if I need it here, but I like it here. Feels good in the hand. The handle feels a little wide in this dimension, which is something I could never glean from the pictures of this knife. I always saw it, but I never thought it would appeal to me. Now that I have it in hand, it is funky. It is cool. I do like it. Here's the sheath. Bam, solid retention, okay? Great retention. Now I set this up for scout carry. That seems to be his kind of thing. It's certainly mine, but that being said, if we're looking at this in a scout carry configuration, right? Well, he wanted the pineapples to be showing and so on, but they were kind of spread out. So I got a pineapple there, and there's one underneath the combat loop as well. So nothing I could do about that. But, you know, I wanted it to be prominent, and it is. It's right there. It looks pretty cool or whatever. But then I completely forgot, what if he wants to switch to vertical? Now the pineapple's upside down. Again, another pain in the ass about graphics. And the way this flower is oriented, it almost looked like this was vertical at a glance. So, again, if you're OCD, I'm not the guy to go to for graphics. These things confuse me, they piss me off. I just set this up for scout carry, and I thought the pineapple looked cool this way. I didn't know. You know, just the way this pattern look came out pretty cool, I thought. But the sheath has great retention. There's no rattle on any of my sheaths, you guys know that. We don't rattle, we don't come out, you know? And then finally, let me show you this one. Again, more of the pineapple. And this one I have here. Kind of same thing, because it's horizontal, I have it going this way. I thought this was like a better mural, you know? But I have to put all this thought into graphics. It's really annoying. With normal kydex, I just slap it on there. There's another pineapple. He didn't specify that he wanted the taco, but that's kind of like what the sheath was that it came with. And he did say he wanted to carry this in a scout configuration with this soft loops. So in my mind, I just thought taco. Fine. So I make him a taco, use the Teflon paper, everything goes fine. Here's the thumb ramp here, very nice and functional. This is the CUT 4.0 Swanigan, whatever that means. But I love this knife. I'm not a huge fan of the color of these scales here. I do like the cutaways in them. It's very, very sharp looking. Very cool. I love the coloration on the blade itself. Very neat. And I'm a fan of the liners that Tops uses. Just a sharp looking product, pun intended, and I really, really love it. Plus, I'm a fan of rings on my knives. You know, under duress, you could drop your stuff. You know, if you poke at this thing, I don't want to slide up it, although it's got plenty of choil there. It just, I don't know, puts me at ease. The jimping on this guy is really intense. kind of perfect for gloved hands. Bare hands, maybe a little much, but I don't mind it too bad. It could hurt you if you really clunk down on it, but I don't know. I get why they did it. So the handle's beautiful, I think. It's just, I don't know. I'd like a different color. Black would be cool. Black, just make it black. It would be awesome. But again, scout carry, and look at the retention on this thing. Freaking butter, man. I mean, functionally, these sheaths are all incredible, but it's just like with the graphics, you know, they come off a little bit off center. I got pineapples coming and going every which direction. You know what I mean? This is the direction they're going. It's just a lot to consider. They took me twice as long as a regular sheath, but I think they came out pretty good. I mean, you guys let me know what you think. The other thing too, finally, final point. Graphics to buy just the raw material, they're like 4 times the cost of regular Kydex. So I have to mark up material because that's part of my profit margins, but it's expensive. It's already 4 times the cost of normal Kydex, my cost. So by the time I get this stuff in hand, you know, I press the knife, I can't see my lines very well. It screws up my geometry of my eyelets sometimes. These all came out good, you know, knock on wood. But I've ruined plenty of sheaths in the past because I couldn't see what was going on because they were graphics. They machine weird. It's just weird machining. Like the edges are, I do enjoy the edges on these. I actually kind of chamfer going in around the corners to kind of bring that out a little bit. Here's a good example. See? I love that look. I bring that out. That doesn't look like that initially. You know, I kind of take the buffing wheel and I hit it at an angle when I'm done smoothing it. And then I polish the edges. So this looks great. I mean, it's sharp looking. But at the same time, it does machine a little bit differently. Kydex generally like single color stuff or even carbon fiber like this one, also for the BK18, also for sale, by the way. You know, you can see it's just very uniform, you know, orange combat loop. But even with the carbon fiber, I can see the lines just fine. It's not easy to work with because my white pencil that I use to mark everything up, it doesn't like to come out of the carbon fiber. So I actually work from this side and drill everything through and just kind of count on that it'll work out. And it usually does. But with this stuff, it's a different animal. So just so you guys know in the future, if you want a sheath with graphics, it's probably going to be in the ballpark of like 30 bucks more. And there's nothing I can do about it. It's kind of a PSA about it. But if you want it bad enough, there's a graphic that you really want, there's, you know, this material you have to have for a certain knife, I want to help you out. And I will make it. And I know that Kydexers aren't growing on trees. Most Kydexers are holster makers. The Kydex sheath makers tend to be like really expensive too. You know, this is a snapshot in time, price is subject to change, of course, but my sheaths range from like 50 to 75 on the higher end. That's where I'm at. I see a lot of Kydex sheath makers charging like 100 bucks, 120, whatever. And then you can go on eBay and there's stuff that's like 40 bucks. Well made, looks good. I don't have a problem with it. You know, a lot of the stuff seems very utilitarian and a little pokey and stabby. I try to make everything a little bit softer for you guys as far as, you know, I round my corners and try to make sure nothing's poking you because I hate it when something's poking me. Other than that, you do get the colored finishing washers, some kind of carry attachment, be it straps, ulti-clip, or combat loop. I do have drop-down attachments available. I think I'm going to charge, when you buy a sheath, $10 extra for those. But if you want one just by itself, I think it's going to be $20, just to incentivize you guys to purchase a sheath with it. So I don't know. It's not a bad thing. I want to say yes to all you guys. You know, you send in some weird knives. You have some weird requests. I got another order after this one that's also strange, but this one just took the life out of me. It made me really tired and it took twice as long as usual. So all because it was graphics. Pretty much it. But they came out pretty good. As you can see, they look great and they function even better. I'm really impressed with the way that this sawback one draws so smoothly, considering sawbacks don't like Kydex. Very proud of that one. So it's going good. If you guys want the graphics, that's fine. Just be prepared to pay more and don't beat me up when I give you the price, because now you saw the video, you understand why, okay? Other than that, anybody that needs anything, you know to hit me up at dragonscalejoe@gmail.com. And I appreciate you guys just hanging out with me. I wanted to ramble today. I like the rambly videos because I don't have to look anything up and I can just talk at you for a while. That, and I wanted to give Matt a shout out. He's a cool guy. So everybody, thank Matt for sending these in, letting me make the video. Let me know your thoughts on graphics. products if it appeals to you, if you find it gimmicky, if you don't mind paying the extra cost because you know the hardships now involved in it. Or if you like to save money and you just want a quality sheath, I can make you something in basic colors that'll look great, it'll function perfectly, and it'll probably save you 30 bucks. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm gonna do a giveaway really soon for you guys. And then, oh, Worksharp sent me stuff. I completely forgot. So I have the Ken Onion Worksharp sharpener in the box. I'm gonna give you guys that. You just pay shipping. I have another sharpener that they sent me. I'm going to give you that as well. All this is going to be heading towards Christmas, so pay attention to the channel the next 2 months. I'm going to try to give away as much as I can just to say thank you because we're coming up on 10,000. It's pretty cool. I think that's fair. You let me know what you think, and I will see you guys next week right here on 5 Minute Knives.